Welcome, dear listener, to a soothing journey into the world of the Hulk. Tonight, as you prepare to rest, allow the soft glow of his story to gently wrap around you. We will explore the many facets of this powerful yet vulnerable hero, his origins, his struggles, and the evolution of his immense strength. But beneath the surface, there lies a story of complexity, of a man caught between two worlds, one of peace and one of fury. So take a deep breath, relax, and let your mind wander through the tales of the Hulk, where each fact will bring you closer to a peaceful slumber. As you listen, feel the weight of the day lift from your shoulders, replaced by the calm presence of this iconic hero, whose journey is as much about inner peace as it is about the strength to survive. Fact 1. The Hulk was created by writer Stan Lee and artist Jack Kirby and made his debut in The Incredible Hulk #1 in 1962. Inspired by Frankenstein's monster and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the character was born out of the desire to create a hero whose powers were defined by uncontrollable rage. Hulk's alter ego, Bruce Banner, was a scientist working with gamma radiation when an experiment went wrong. The radiation bombarded him, causing him to transform into the Hulk whenever he became angry. This tragic origin story sets the tone for his dual existence, a brilliant scientist and a powerful, unstoppable force. Fact 2. Bruce Banner's transformation into the Hulk occurs whenever he experiences intense anger or emotional distress. His physical appearance changes drastically, growing in size with his skin turning a bright green hue. Initially, the Hulk was depicted as a gray figure, but due to printing issues, the color was changed to green, a decision that stuck and became iconic. With each transformation, Hulk's strength increases exponentially, and he becomes nearly indestructible, making him one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel Universe. Despite his immense power, Hulk's struggle lies in his lack of control and the fear that he might hurt those he loves. Fact 3. The Hulk's strength is virtually limitless, growing stronger the angrier he gets. This power surge makes the Hulk a formidable opponent, but also a dangerous one, as there is no clear end to how powerful he can become. In fact, one of the key aspects of Hulk's character is the notion that he is constantly evolving and changing. Over the years, comic book writers have explored his potential to reach near godlike levels of power. In storylines like Planet Hulk and World War Hulk, the Hulk is shown to have reached immense strength, capable of taking on entire armies and defeating beings of cosmic power. Fact 4. Despite being a force of destruction, Hulk is often portrayed as a tragic figure. Beneath the green skin and monstrous size, he is a man struggling with his identity. Bruce Banner, his human counterpart, is deeply conflicted about his transformation, longing to lead a normal life. His relationship with the Hulk persona is fraught with fear and regret. Banner is constantly at war with himself, wishing to control the beast within, but knowing that the Hulk's rage is not something he can easily tame. This internal struggle has made the Hulk a character of great emotional depth, resonating with readers who see his journey as a metaphor for personal battles and self-acceptance. Fact 5. The Hulk's most famous catchphrase, Hulk Smash, epitomizes his raw power and unstoppable nature. This simple phrase is symbolic of the Hulk's character. It's about destruction, but also about expressing frustration and the inability to communicate complex emotions in a rational way. The Hulk, in many of his incarnations, struggles with expressing himself verbally, instead relying on brute force to make his point. This theme of Hulk smashing his way through problems has been central to many of his comic storylines, representing not just physical power, but also his inability to connect with others in a way that would lead to peaceful resolution. Fact 6. Hulk's relationship with other Marvel heroes is one of the most dynamic aspects of his character. While he often works with the Avengers, his unpredictable nature and occasional outbursts lead to tension within the team. In Avengers, Age of Ultron, for example, Hulk's rage causes destruction in the city of Johannesburg, leading to a temporary falling out with the team. Yet, despite these moments of conflict, the Avengers also rely on his immense strength when fighting powerful threats. This dichotomy, being both a valued member of the team and a loose cannon, is central to Hulk's character arc and adds layers of complexity to his relationships with other heroes. Fact 7. One of the most significant storylines in Hulk's history is Planet Hulk. In this arc, Hulk is sent away from Earth by the Illuminati, a secret group of powerful superheroes, after he is deemed too dangerous. He ends up on the planet Sakaar, where he is forced to fight in gladiatorial battles for the entertainment of the planet's rulers. Over time, Hulk becomes a gladiator king, leading a rebellion and overthrowing his captors. This story is important because it explores Hulk's ability to lead and his complex relationship with power. Despite his monstrous appearance, Hulk proves to be a charismatic and capable leader, forging connections with others who see past his anger. Fact 8. Hulk's healing factor is one of his most remarkable abilities. This regenerative power allows him to recover from virtually any injury, no matter how severe. Whether it's being shot, stabbed, or smashed into the ground, the Hulk's body heals rapidly. In fact, his healing factor is so powerful that even if his body is destroyed, he can regenerate from the smallest remnants of his cells. This ability is one of the reasons why Hulk is considered nearly invulnerable. He can endure and recover from injuries that would kill a normal person in seconds. Fact 9. Despite his immense power, Hulk is often portrayed as a misunderstood hero. His violent tendencies and uncontrollable rage lead people to view him as a monster, when in fact, he is more human than they realize. This theme of being misunderstood is explored in many of Hulk's storylines, where he is forced to defend himself from both villains and heroes alike. One of the most notable examples of this is in the Incredible Hulk 2008 film, where Bruce Banner seeks refuge from society, constantly fearing that the Hulk will destroy everything he holds dear. His journey is one of seeking acceptance, both from others and from himself. Fact 10. One of the most iconic parts of the Hulk's history is his conflict with the U.S. military. From the very beginning of Hulk's story, the military has been a constant antagonist, often seeking to capture or eliminate the creature they see as a threat. This dynamic started in the comics, where the U.S. Army tried to stop Hulk's rampages and has continued into the films. In The Incredible Hulk 2008, General Ross, a prominent figure in Hulk's story, leads the pursuit of Bruce Banner, treating him like an enemy. This military pursuit of Hulk adds another layer to his tragic character, as it highlights how the world sees him as a monster, no matter his intentions. Fact 11. In the World War Hulk storyline, the Hulk returns to Earth after being exiled to Sakaar, seeking vengeance on the Illuminati for sending him away. The story sees Hulk's rage reaching its peak, and he takes on the might of Earth's heroes, including the Avengers, Iron Man, and Black Bolt. What makes this arc so significant is that it shows a darker side to Hulk's character, where his anger consumes him and he becomes a destructive force of nature. This storyline explores the consequences of pushing Hulk too far and the emotional toll of betrayal, making it one of the most intense chapters in Hulk's saga. Fact 12: Hulk's intellectual capabilities have always been a point of contention. While many portray him as a simple brute, there are instances where the Hulk has demonstrated significant intelligence. In The Incredible Hulk, Number 140, Hulk exhibits his ability to solve complex problems and even outsmart other characters. However, his mind is often overshadowed by his primal instincts and overwhelming rage. Over time, Bruce Banner's genius level intellect has also been a pivotal part of the Hulk's journey, creating a duality where the monstrous Hulk and the brilliant scientist are constantly in conflict. This complexity makes the Hulk a much deeper character than initially perceived. Fact 13: Hulk's interaction with the character of Thanos has been one of the most intriguing in the Marvel Universe. In Infinity War, Hulk's strength is tested when he faces off against the Mad Titan. Thanos, a being of immense power, is able to defeat Hulk in a battle with ease, leaving Hulk battered and humiliated. This defeat is significant because it showcases that Hulk, while incredibly powerful, is not invincible. Thanos' ability to overpower the Hulk serves as a reminder that even the strongest heroes have their limits, and it sets up a narrative of growth and overcoming personal challenges for the Hulk. Fact 14: The Hulk's relationship with his cousin, Jennifer Walters, aka She-Hulk, is one of the most unique family dynamics in the Marvel Universe. Jennifer, who was a lawyer before she was transformed by gamma radiation, becomes a superhero with powers similar to Hulk's. Unlike Bruce, however, Jennifer is able to maintain her intelligence and personality when she transforms into She-Hulk, which leads to a different kind of struggle. Their bond is one of mutual understanding, as they both deal with the consequences of gamma radiation. Their interactions have also been a source of humor, with Jennifer often acting as a foil to Hulk's rage-driven persona. Fact 15: One of the most iconic aspects of Hulk's character is his ability to inspire fear in those who encounter him. Despite his heroism, Hulk's presence is a terrifying one. The mere sight of the Hulk can send enemies running, and his unrestrained power is enough to make even the bravest warriors hesitate. In The Avengers 2012, when the team faces off against Loki's alien army, Hulk's arrival signals the turning tide of the battle. With a single roar and an immense display of strength, Hulk decimates the enemy, proving that fear can be a weapon as powerful as brute strength. Fact 16: Hulk's anger is not just a physical transformation, it is also a metaphor for his internal struggles. Many writers have used the Hulk's rage as a way to explore deeper psychological themes. The transformation from Bruce Banner to the Hulk represents the unleashing of repressed emotions and unacknowledged trauma. The Hulk's endless battles, both physical and emotional, serve as a reflection of the difficulty in managing one's inner demons. For Bruce Banner, the Hulk is both a release and a curse, a constant reminder that unprocessed emotions can have devastating consequences. This theme of inner turmoil has made Hulk a character whose story is not just about power, but about healing and understanding the self. Fact 17: In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, Hulk has undergone significant character development, particularly in the films Avengers, Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame. In these films, Hulk is seen struggling with his duality more than ever before. After his crushing defeat by Thanos, Hulk refuses to appear for most of Infinity War, leading Bruce Banner to seek a resolution. In Endgame, Hulk eventually finds a balance between his human intellect and his Hulk persona, creating Smart Hulk, a version of himself that retains his strength but with the ability to think and reason like Bruce Banner. This evolution marks a pivotal moment in Hulk's character arc, as it symbolizes the possibility of reconciliation between the two halves of his identity. Fact 18: Hulk's presence in the comics has often been used to explore the concept of alienation. As someone who is constantly out of control and feared by society, Hulk is an outsider. He is often depicted as a character who is rejected by those around him, including the military, society, and sometimes even other superheroes. This theme of alienation is something that resonates deeply with readers, as many people can relate to feeling out of place or misunderstood. Despite his monstrous appearance, Hulk's story is ultimately one of finding acceptance, both from others and from himself, making him one of the most empathetic characters in the Marvel Universe. Fact 19: In addition to his battles with superheroes and villains, Hulk has had several significant encounters with cosmic beings in the Marvel Universe. One such encounter occurs in the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, where Hulk faces off against Thanos. The sheer scale of the cosmic threats Hulk faces highlights the idea that his power is not limited to earthly concerns. In many of these cosmic storylines, Hulk's strength is not just physical, but is also symbolic of the power of raw emotion and willpower, standing tall against forces that seek to manipulate or control the universe. These cosmic battles demonstrate the limitless potential of the Hulk, showcasing his resilience against even the most formidable threats. Fact 20: Despite his overwhelming power, the Hulk has a deep connection to the natural world. In many stories, he is shown to be at peace when he is away from the hustle and chaos of civilization. In storylines like The Incredible Hulk 256, Hulk seeks refuge in the wilderness, where he can be alone with his thoughts and escape the pressures of the world. This connection to nature speaks to Hulk's humanity, his need for solitude and inner peace. It also provides a contrast to his usual portrayal as a destructive force, reminding us that even the most powerful beings need a quiet place to rest and heal. Fact 21: Hulk's transformation is not just about physical appearance, it's also a shift in personality. Bruce Banner, a reserved and intelligent man, becomes a wild rage-fueled force when he turns into the Hulk. The Hulk's personality is often depicted as more primal, driven by emotion rather than intellect. However, over time, the Hulk has shown moments of clarity, demonstrating that beneath the rage, there is a deep sense of morality and justice. This duality, the struggle between Banner's intellect and the Hulk's emotions, is one of the most compelling aspects of his character, making him both relatable and tragic. Fact 22: Hulk's vulnerability is not just physical, it's emotional as well. Despite his immense strength, the Hulk is constantly dealing with feelings of isolation, loneliness, and fear. Bruce Banner is often portrayed as someone who fears his own anger and what it can lead to. His relationships with others, especially with people like Betty Ross, are complicated by his inability to control the Hulk. In many storylines, the Hulk's internal conflict is portrayed as a metaphor for personal struggles, struggles with mental health, identity, and the desire to belong. This emotional depth makes the Hulk a much more layered character than many initially realize. Fact 23: Hulk's connection to the environment around him is often explored through his interactions with nature. As a character, he is deeply connected to the natural world, often retreating to forests or mountains to escape the chaos of civilization. In The Incredible Hulk, number 141, Hulk finds solace in the wilderness, where he experiences peace away from the world that fears him. This connection to nature also reflects the Hulk's role as a protector of the Earth, even though he is often misunderstood as a destroyer. In many ways, Hulk represents the untamed power of nature, a force that must be respected and understood. Fact 24: The Hulk's interactions with other members of the Avengers often reveal his role as both a hero and a threat. One of the most notable moments in the comics is when Hulk fights Thor, another powerful Avenger. Their battles are not only physical, but also philosophical, as they both struggle with their own identities and purpose. Thor, the god of thunder, sees his strength as a gift to be used for the greater good, while Hulk's strength is often driven by rage and emotion. These differences create tension between the two, but they also highlight the complexity of both characters, showing that strength can take many forms. Fact 25: Throughout his history, Hulk has also been portrayed as a symbol of personal empowerment. His journey from a frightened scientist to a being of immense strength represents the idea of overcoming one's fears and embracing the power within. For many readers, Hulk's transformation is a metaphor for the human experience of growth, learning to harness one's inner strength and resilience. This theme has made the Hulk a character who inspires not just fear, but also hope. His ability to keep fighting, even when it seems impossible, is a testament to the human spirit's capacity to endure and thrive, no matter the odds. Fact 26: Hulk's evolution in the comics has been mirrored by his depiction in films. In the MCU, Hulk's journey is explored in depth, showing his transition from a tortured soul in The Incredible Hulk 2008 to a more controlled and integrated version of himself in Avengers Endgame 2019. In Infinity War, the Hulk's failure to appear reflects his internal struggle, and in Endgame, his decision to merge Bruce Banner and the Hulk into Smart Hulk symbolizes his acceptance of both sides of his identity. This transformation in the MCU speaks to the character's growth, emphasizing that acceptance of oneself can lead to true power. Fact 27: In many of his storylines, Hulk's biggest battle is with himself. His struggle for control is a central theme, as he constantly fights against the Hulk persona that is driven by emotion and rage. In some versions of the story, Hulk tries to find a way to permanently rid himself of the Hulk transformation, but he always fails, as the Hulk is a part of him, indelible and inescapable. This battle between the human and the monster within is one of the most poignant aspects of Hulk's character, highlighting the difficulty of accepting one's darker nature while striving for redemption. Fact 28: Despite his fearsome reputation, Hulk has shown moments of tenderness and kindness. In several storylines, Hulk is depicted as a protector of children, animals, and those unable to defend themselves. In The Incredible Hulk, number 2111, Hulk is seen protecting a young girl from a group of bullies, highlighting his caring side. This softer side of the Hulk shows that while he is a force of destruction, he also possesses a deep sense of justice and compassion. These moments of humanity make the Hulk more than just a monster. They show that even the most powerful beings are capable of empathy and kindness. Fact 29. Hulk's role as a symbol of power has also been explored through his ability to inspire others. In Planet Hulk, for example, Hulk becomes a leader to the oppressed people of Sakaar, using his strength to fight for freedom and justice. His journey in Sakaar is not just one of survival, but also one of leadership. The people he leads see him as a hero, not because of his strength alone, but because of his willingness to fight for their cause. This transformation from a lone monster to a revered leader is one of the most significant arcs in Hulk's story. Fact 30. Hulk's role in Marvel's larger cosmic stories is another important aspect of his character. While he is often seen as an earthbound hero, Hulk has participated in some of the most significant cosmic battles in Marvel history. In the Infinity War and Infinity Gauntlet storylines, Hulk plays a crucial role in the fight against Thanos and other cosmic entities. These storylines explore the idea that Hulk's power is not just about brute force, but also about his determination and his unwillingness to back down in the face of overwhelming odds. This larger than life role solidifies Hulk's place as one of Marvel's most important characters. Fact 31. Hulk's strength has been portrayed as practically unlimited in many storylines, and one of the most dramatic examples of this is seen in The Incredible Hulk number 102, where Hulk is able to lift a massive mountain, a feat that seemed impossible even for him. This moment is significant because it shows just how powerful Hulk can become when he is pushed to his limits. His ability to overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles is a testament to his resilience and strength, and it represents the core of his character, never giving up, no matter the odds. Fact 32. Hulk's emotional struggles are explored in depth in many comics, but perhaps the most poignant is the Hulk, the end storyline. Set in a post-apocalyptic future, this story shows Hulk as the last survivor on Earth, roaming a barren world after everyone else has perished. In this isolation, Hulk is forced to confront his loneliness and the emotional burden of being the last of his kind. This exploration of Hulk's psyche reveals the human side of the character, showing that despite his immense power, he is still deeply affected by the loss of connection and the passage of time. Fact 33. Hulk has faced numerous transformations over the years, with each version reflecting different aspects of his character. One of the most notable of these is the Professor Hulk transformation, where Hulk retains the body and strength of the Hulk, but possesses the intelligence and personality of Bruce Banner. This version of Hulk represents the harmonious fusion of his two identities, intellect and power, showcasing that when the two parts of Hulk's being are in balance, he can be both a formidable force and a brilliant mind. The Professor Hulk persona also allows Bruce to navigate the world as a superhero without the burden of uncontrollable rage. Fact 34. Throughout his history, Hulk has been a major figure in Marvel's big crossover events. In Secret Wars 1984, Hulk played a crucial role in the conflict between Earth's heroes and villains. In this cosmic battle, the Hulk's strength is unmatched, allowing him to fight alongside and against some of Marvel's most iconic characters. His inclusion in these events demonstrates his importance not only as a standalone hero, but as a cornerstone of Marvel's larger superhero narrative. His presence in these stories reminds us that, no matter how isolated Hulk may seem, he is always an integral part of the Marvel Universe. Fact 35: Hulk's character has also been used to explore themes of mental health. Many of his battles are metaphorical representations of struggles with anger management, trauma, and self acceptance. In some storylines, Hulk's rage is depicted as an external manifestation of his internal psychological struggles. This approach adds complexity to his character, showing that the Hulk is not simply a monster, but a reflection of the emotional and mental battles that many people face. The Hulk's journey is one of self understanding as he attempts to come to terms with the beast within and learn how to manage his anger. Fact 36: Hulk's destructive nature is often seen as a double edged sword. While he is an invaluable asset in battles against powerful enemies, his rampages also leave a path of destruction in their wake. In many stories, Hulk's uncontrollable rage causes collateral damage, often harming innocent bystanders and even his allies. This conflict within Hulk's character, his desire to do good versus the consequences of his actions, is explored in multiple storylines, adding moral complexity to his persona. It raises the question of whether a hero can truly be a hero if they cannot control the very force that makes them powerful. Fact 37: In many of his adventures, Hulk has interacted with some of the most formidable villains in the Marvel Universe, from Loki and Magneto to the cosmic beings like Galactus. These interactions often test Hulk's abilities and force him to confront not just his enemies, but also his own fears and limitations. In some of his more philosophical storylines, Hulk's battles are less about defeating his opponents and more about confronting the internal struggles that define him. These deep, psychological battles show that Hulk's greatest enemies are not always those who seek to destroy him, but the parts of himself that he cannot control. Fact 38: Hulk's journey has also been one of self reinvention. Throughout his time in the Marvel Universe, he has undergone numerous transformations, each one reflecting his changing relationship with his power. From the early days as a misunderstood monster to his role as a hero and leader, Hulk's evolution is a testament to his adaptability. Even though his core identity remains rooted in rage, Hulk has shown that he is capable of growth and change. His ability to reinvent himself has made him a symbol of resilience, showing that even the most destructive forces can find redemption and purpose. Fact 39: The Hulk's connection to the Avengers is one of the most important aspects of his character in the modern era. Despite his volatile nature, Hulk has been an essential member of the team, contributing his immense strength and power to the group's efforts. In many of the Avengers' most challenging battles, Hulk's power has been the difference between victory and defeat. This dynamic also serves to humanize Hulk, as he is not just a lone warrior, but part of a team that values him for more than just his physical strength. It highlights the importance of teamwork and the power of collective effort. Fact 40: Hulk's place in popular culture is firmly cemented, with his status as one of Marvel's most recognizable characters. From comic books to TV shows, movies, and even merchandise, Hulk's image as a symbol of raw power has made him a cultural icon. He represents a certain ideal, the idea that inner strength, when harnessed, can overcome any obstacle. His popularity has only grown over the years, and he continues to be a symbol of strength and vulnerability in equal measure. Hulk's influence extends beyond the comics, showing how a fictional character can leave a lasting impact on society. Fact 41: one of the most remarkable elements of the Hulk's character is his resilience, not just in terms of physical endurance, but his ability to keep fighting no matter the odds. This is especially evident in storylines like The Incredible Hulk, 300, where the Hulk faces off against impossible odds but still finds the strength to push forward. His ability to rise from near defeat, no matter how many times he's knocked down, serves as a powerful metaphor for the human spirit. The Hulk's resilience is not just about physical power, it's about never giving up, even when everything seems lost. Fact 42: throughout his history, Hulk has had many memorable moments of vulnerability. One of the most poignant instances occurs in the Hulk, Future Imperfect storyline, where Hulk finds himself in a dystopian future ruled by a version of himself known as the Maestro. In this future, Hulk is faced with not only his own strength, but the destructive consequences of that power. He must confront the idea that his greatest enemy may be himself. This storyline delves deeply into the idea of self doubt, showing that even the strongest heroes face the challenge of reconciling with their darker aspects. Fact 43: Hulk's ongoing battle with Bruce Banner is central to his story. At the heart of Hulk's character lies a deep internal conflict, the struggle between Banner's desire for control and Hulk's desire to break free. In many of Hulk's adventures, this battle manifests itself in different ways. Sometimes, Bruce Banner tries to suppress the Hulk by using science, while other times he embraces his alter ego, allowing the Hulk to take control. This constant push and pull between the two identities is a key part of what makes Hulk such a compelling character. It's not just about fighting external enemies, it's about fighting oneself. Fact 44: one of the most significant aspects of Hulk's history is his ability to inspire change in others. While his destructive tendencies can sometimes alienate people, his actions often lead others to rethink their approach to power. In The Avengers 2012, Hulk's presence in the final battle against the Chitauri forces has a transformative effect on the team. His raw, unfiltered power serves as a catalyst for the Avengers to come together, not just as individuals, but as a cohesive team. Hulk's strength may be the key to their victory, but it's his vulnerability and willingness to fight for the greater good that truly inspires. Fact 45: throughout his story, Hulk has faced the challenge of controlling his anger, a theme that is explored in many of his storylines. While the Hulk is often seen as a symbol of uncontrollable rage, there are moments when he strives to gain mastery over his emotions. In The Incredible Hulk, Summer 377, Bruce Banner undergoes a psychological breakthrough, realizing that he must learn to accept both his human side and his Hulk side in order to achieve balance. This internal growth marks a turning point in his character as he begins to understand that true power comes not from suppressing his anger, but from learning how to manage it. Fact 46: in many stories, Hulk has been depicted as both a destroyer and a protector. While his initial appearances often focused on his ability to wreak havoc, later stories began to explore the idea that Hulk, while dangerous, is ultimately a force for good. In Planet Hulk, Hulk is cast away from Earth and forced to fight in gladiatorial battles, but he eventually rises to become a leader. His transformation from a lone monster to a beloved king symbolizes his growth as a character and as a hero. Despite his monstrous nature, Hulk proves that anyone, no matter how misunderstood, can become a protector. Fact 47. Hulk's relationships with other Marvel characters are often complex and nuanced. One of the most intriguing dynamics is his friendship with Thor. While they are often seen as rivals due to their immense strength, they share a mutual respect for each other's power. In the Avengers 2012, Thor and Hulk's battles with each other showcase not only their physical might, but their differing philosophies. Thor, a god with a sense of nobility, contrasts with Hulk, who represents raw emotion and instinct. Yet when it matters most, the two are able to put aside their differences to fight as allies. This mutual respect is at the heart of their relationship. Fact 48. Hulk's presence in the Marvel Universe extends beyond his own comic book series. As a founding member of the Avengers, Hulk has been an integral part of the team's battles against powerful threats. His membership in the Avengers is not just about his strength, it's also about his ability to overcome the same challenges the team faces. Hulk's inclusion in the Avengers highlights his importance as a hero, as he provides a unique perspective on teamwork. His struggles with control and anger mirror the struggles of other team members, making him one of the most relatable and emotionally complex characters in the Marvel Universe. Fact 49. Despite being one of the most physically powerful beings in the Marvel Universe, Hulk has a deep moral code. While he is often portrayed as a character who acts on instinct and emotion, he has a strong sense of right and wrong. This moral compass has been explored in several storylines, most notably in The Incredible Hulk, Thor 174, where Hulk is shown to protect innocent lives, even at the risk of his own safety. This aspect of his character shows that beneath the surface of brute strength, there lies a hero who is driven by a desire to protect others and do what is right. Fact 50. Hulk's ability to inspire fear and awe in others is part of what makes him such a unique character. His sheer physicality can overwhelm anyone who faces him, but it is his unpredictability that makes him truly terrifying. In Avengers, Age of Ultron, when Hulk goes on a rampage in Johannesburg, it's not just his strength that causes chaos, it's the uncontrollable nature of his transformation. His anger is a primal force, and it's this unpredictability that makes him both a hero and a threat. Hulk represents the idea that sometimes power is not just about strength, but about the unpredictability of the forces within us. Fact 51. One of the most emotional moments in Hulk's journey occurs in the Hulk, the end storyline, where Hulk is the last living being on Earth. This post apocalyptic future offers a unique perspective on the Hulk as he faces his own loneliness and isolation. For a character who spent most of his life fighting, the idea of being the last survivor adds a layer of sorrow and reflection to his story. In this solitude, Hulk reflects on his past, the battles he fought, and the relationships he lost. This arc explores the deep emotional toll of being a hero who is constantly at odds with the world around him. Fact 52. Throughout his existence, Hulk has been portrayed in various forms of media, making him a widely recognized icon. From animated series like The Incredible Hulk, 1996, to the blockbuster MCU films, Hulk's presence has been felt across multiple generations. His cinematic portrayals have been especially significant, with each new film offering a fresh take on the character. The MCU's version of Hulk, played by Mark Ruffalo, focuses on the character's inner struggle, giving fans a deeper understanding of Bruce Banner's psyche and his relationship with the Hulk persona. This continued evolution keeps the character relevant and relatable to new audiences. Fact 53: Hulk's ongoing battle for control over his anger has led to several attempts to separate Bruce Banner from the Hulk entirely. In The Incredible Hulk number 377, Bruce Banner attempts to find peace by merging his two identities into a more balanced version, Smart Hulk, a combination of his intellect and Hulk's power. This transformation allows him to lead a more stable life, but it also underscores the idea that Hulk's power is both a gift and a curse. The struggle to control one's inner chaos is a central theme in the Hulk's story, reflecting the challenges many people face when grappling with their own emotions. Fact 54: Despite his incredible strength and near invulnerability, Hulk's greatest weakness lies in his emotions. His rage, while the source of his power, is also what makes him uncontrollable. In many instances, Hulk has been portrayed as a character who acts without thinking, letting his anger drive his actions. This vulnerability makes him relatable to readers who understand the struggle of emotional control. It's a reminder that even the most powerful individuals can be undone by their own unchecked emotions. This inner conflict is what makes Hulk's character so compelling. He is both a hero and a cautionary tale. Fact 55: Hulk's rivalry with his alter ego, Bruce Banner, is one of the most complex aspects of his character. While Hulk is often depicted as the monster or the villain of the story, there is always a deeper layer to his conflict with Banner. In many stories, Hulk and Banner are shown to be two sides of the same coin, both struggling to coexist and find balance. This internal battle is explored in various ways, from Bruce's attempts to suppress the Hulk to their eventual cooperation in certain storylines. The tension between them represents the broader struggle of accepting one's flaws and reconciling with one's darker side. 56. Hulk's role in the Marvel Universe extends far beyond just Earth. In Planet Hulk, the character is exiled to another planet where he is forced to fight for survival in a gladiatorial arena. This storyline is significant because it expands Hulk's character beyond his usual earthbound setting and explores his ability to adapt to new environments and challenges. Hulk's transformation from a gladiator to a leader is a powerful arc that shows his growth as a character. Despite being sent away by those who feared him, Hulk proves that his power can be used for a higher purpose, protecting others and leading them to freedom. Fact 57. In many versions of the Hulk story, the character is portrayed as a misunderstood hero. His violent nature and uncontrollable rage often lead to others viewing him as a threat. However, beneath the surface, Hulk's actions are often motivated by a desire to protect the innocent and fight for justice. In The Incredible Hulk 1181, where he faces Wolverine for the first time, Hulk's motivations are not to cause harm, but to survive and defend himself. This theme of being misunderstood is central to Hulk's character, as he frequently fights not just external enemies, but also the perception of being a monster. Fact 58. Hulk's connection with his cousin, She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters, is another fascinating aspect of his character. Unlike Bruce, Jennifer retains her intelligence and personality when she transforms into She-Hulk. This contrast creates an interesting dynamic between the two characters, as they share a similar origin story, but their experiences and relationships with their Hulk personas are vastly different. While Bruce often sees the Hulk as a curse, Jennifer embraces her She Hulk identity, finding a way to balance both aspects of herself. Their relationship is one of mutual respect and understanding, as they both struggle with the same powers but approach them in different ways. Fact 59: the Hulk's healing factor is one of his most extraordinary abilities. Unlike other superheroes, Hulk's regenerative powers allow him to recover from almost any injury, no matter how severe. Whether he's been shot, stabbed, or even torn apart, Hulk's body can heal almost instantaneously. This makes him nearly indestructible and one of the most resilient characters in the Marvel Universe. In some of the more extreme storylines, like World War Hulk, his healing factor allows him to recover from near fatal wounds, making him an unstoppable force. This regenerative power also serves as a metaphor for the resilience of the human spirit. No matter how many times we fall, we can always rise again. Fact 60: one of the defining aspects of Hulk's personality is his struggle with isolation. Throughout his journey, Hulk has been portrayed as a loner, constantly rejected by society and often forced to fight alone. This theme of isolation is explored in various storylines, from his early days as an outcast to his more recent portrayal as a member of the Avengers. Despite his strength, Hulk's greatest challenge is often his inability to connect with others. This sense of loneliness drives much of his character development as he seeks to find a place where he belongs, while also learning to accept himself as he is. Fact 61: Hulk's relationship with his greatest foes reveals the complexity of his character. Among the most notable of his enemies is the Abomination, a creature nearly as strong as the Hulk, but driven by pure malice. In their first battle, the Abomination serves as a reflection of what Hulk could become if he completely abandoned his humanity. Over the years, the rivalry between Hulk and the Abomination has evolved, with each battle pushing Hulk to confront not only the power of his enemies, but also the darker aspects of his own nature. These confrontations explore themes of self-destruction and redemption. Fact 62: Hulk's emotional journey often highlights the contrast between his rage and the intellectual side of Bruce Banner. While Banner is a scientist, his transformations into Hulk often strip away his reasoning and rationality. This dichotomy is explored deeply in various storylines, such as Hulk, Grey, and the Incredible Hulk, Year 372, where Hulk's personality fluctuates between pure instinct and moments of clarity. This internal struggle demonstrates that Hulk's greatest challenge is not just external forces, but his ongoing battle to reconcile his intellect with the raw emotions that the Hulk embodies. It's a constant tug of war between thought and instinct. Fact 63: the Hulk's impact on the Marvel Universe has been profound, particularly through his involvement in major crossovers and storylines. In Infinity War, the Hulk played a crucial role in the Avengers' battle against Thanos and his forces. Although Thanos easily overpowers the Hulk, this moment highlights the limits of the Hulk's power and sets up his character development throughout the Infinity Saga. Despite the physical defeat, the Hulk's indomitable will and willingness to fight to the end serve as a beacon of hope for the Avengers and the universe. His strength isn't always about winning battles, but about perseverance. Fact 64. One of the more poignant and philosophical arcs in Hulk's history is seen in the World War Hulk storyline. After being exiled to the planet Sakaar, Hulk returns to Earth in a rage filled quest for revenge against the Illuminati, the group responsible for his exile. However, his journey is more than just about vengeance. It's a story of loss, betrayal, and healing. Throughout this arc, Hulk faces the emotional scars left by his years of being manipulated and abandoned. His journey from a mindless force of destruction to a character capable of deep reflection makes World War Hulk one of his most defining stories. Fact 65. In some versions of Hulk's story, he is portrayed as more of an anti hero than a traditional superhero. In The Incredible Hulk, number 440, for example, Hulk is shown to be willing to do whatever it takes to protect the world, even if it means causing destruction along the way. While this portrayal often leads to conflict with other heroes, it also highlights Hulk's desire to protect the innocent, even at the cost of his own personal turmoil. This anti heroic side of Hulk is key to his complexity. He is not a hero in the traditional sense, but rather someone who acts based on raw emotion and a sense of justice. 66. Hulk's interactions with the X-Men have provided some interesting moments in Marvel Comics. One of the most notable interactions is when Hulk and Wolverine come face to face for the first time in The Incredible Hulk, number 180. This encounter leads to a rivalry that spans across several storylines, as both characters are known for their ferocity and fighting ability. However, unlike the Hulk's usual battles with other heroes, his confrontation with Wolverine is driven by mutual respect, as both characters share a similar background of violence and inner turmoil. Their relationship ultimately reflects a complicated but respectful understanding of each other's pain. Fact 67. Despite his immense power, Hulk has never been invulnerable to emotional manipulation. In The Incredible Hulk, number 134, the villainous leader of the UFOs, the leader, uses Hulk's own anger against him to make him lose control, demonstrating that Hulk's greatest weakness is not his physical limitations, but his inability to manage his emotions. Throughout his adventures, Hulk's emotional fragility has been a consistent theme, showing that even the strongest hero is not immune to the effects of psychological warfare. This vulnerability is something that readers can relate to, as it speaks to the power of emotions in shaping a person's actions. Fact 68. Hulk's connection to his human counterpart, Bruce Banner, has been the subject of many fascinating stories. In The Incredible Hulk, subtitle 182, Banner's attempt to rid himself of the Hulk transformation reveals the deep psychological conflict between the two identities. Banner's fear of the Hulk stems from the damage he could cause to both himself and others. Yet as the story progresses, it becomes clear that Banner cannot simply escape the Hulk. He must learn to accept and understand this powerful alter ego in order to move forward. This tension between acceptance and rejection is central to Hulk's character development. Fact 69. Hulk's relationships with other members of the Avengers have often been strained due to his unpredictable nature. In Avengers That's Their 2, the team initially distrusts Hulk because of his violent tendencies, but over time, they come to appreciate his strength and determination. Despite his tendency to go rogue and act impulsively, Hulk has proven himself time and again to be a vital member of the Avengers. His strength, while often uncontrollable, has helped the team save the world on numerous occasions. This demonstrates the value of teamwork and the importance of looking beyond a hero's flaws to see their true potential. Fact 70. In the Hulk Gray storyline, Hulk is depicted as a version of himself that is more emotionally raw and vulnerable than usual. The story explores his early days as the Hulk and his complex relationship with Betty Ross, his first love. The emotional weight of the story is heightened by Hulk's internal struggle with the rage he feels whenever he transforms. This version of the Hulk is less of a destructive force and more of a tragic figure, struggling to navigate his own feelings of love, loss, and anger. It's one of the most heartfelt explorations of the Hulk's inner conflict. Fact 71. One of the most notable characteristics of Hulk's powers is his ability to adapt to almost any environment or situation. In Planet Hulk, Hulk is exiled to the planet Sakaar, where he's forced to fight in gladiatorial arenas. Instead of succumbing to the harsh conditions, he adapts and becomes a leader, eventually overthrowing the ruling regime. This storyline is significant because it shows that Hulk's strength is not just physical, but also mental. He learns to thrive in a hostile environment using his experience and leadership abilities to forge connections and fight for justice, even in a foreign world. Fact 72. Hulk's relationship with his greatest love, Betty Ross, is a central part of his emotional journey. In several storylines, Betty is depicted as a compassionate figure who understands both Bruce Banner's intelligence and the pain of his transformation into the Hulk. Their love story is one of tragedy and resilience, as their bond is constantly tested by the destructive nature of Hulk's power. In The Incredible Hulk 141, their relationship reaches a pivotal point where Betty accepts the Hulk as a part of Bruce's identity, showing that love, even in the face of uncontrollable chaos, can offer acceptance and peace. Fact 73. Despite being a symbol of raw, unrestrained power, the Hulk is often shown to be incredibly lonely. Throughout his long history, Hulk has been portrayed as an outsider, shunned by society for his monstrous appearance and volatile nature. This sense of isolation is a recurring theme in his storylines, with Hulk often retreating to the wilderness or away from civilization to escape the fear and hostility of others. In The Incredible Hulk, number 180, Hulk's loneliness is explored as a driving force for his actions. His isolation highlights the complexity of his character. He is both a hero and a tragic figure, constantly seeking acceptance. Fact 74. Hulk's conflict with the U.S. government is a central element of his story. From the very beginning, he is seen as a threat by the military and government officials, particularly General Ross. In The Incredible Hulk number 2, the military's efforts to stop the Hulk are portrayed as futile as they struggle to contain his immense strength and rage. This conflict is not just physical, it's a reflection of the larger societal fear of something that cannot be controlled. As a result, Hulk's journey often focuses on his battle against authority, fighting not just for survival, but for his right to exist on his own terms. Fact 75. Over the years, Hulk's character has evolved from a misunderstood monster to a beloved hero. In The Incredible Hulk, Sumner 300, Hulk is shown as more than just a destructive force. He is a symbol of inner strength, resilience, and determination. In this issue, Hulk's struggle to overcome his rage becomes a central theme, illustrating that even the most powerful heroes must learn to control their emotions. This shift in characterization reflects a broader change in the way heroes are viewed in comic book culture, no longer as perfect beings, but as complex individuals who must work through their flaws to find their true purpose. Fact 76. Hulk's greatest strength, however, is not his physical power, but his resilience and ability to keep moving forward. In The Incredible Hulk, Strucker 372, Hulk fights against overwhelming odds, yet continues to persevere. His ability to recover from setbacks, whether it's being rejected by society or being betrayed by those closest to him, is what makes him truly formidable. Hulk's journey is not just about physical battles, it's about learning to overcome the emotional and psychological scars that come with his existence. This resilience is what has made Hulk such an enduring and relatable character for generations of readers. Fact 77. The Hulk's destructive nature has often led to internal and external conflict, particularly in his relationship with the Avengers. While his immense power is valuable to the team, Hulk's tendency to act impulsively and without regard for the consequences has led to tension with his teammates. In Avengers the Number 1, Hulk's initial betrayal of the team and his eventual departure highlights the struggles he faces in reconciling his anger with his need to belong. Despite these challenges, Hulk remains an integral part of the team, showing that, even when conflicted, he can be counted on to fight for what is right. Fact 78. Hulk's role in Marvel's cosmic stories is an often overlooked aspect of his character. In Infinity Gauntlet's, Hulk's strength is instrumental in the fight against Thanos, showcasing his place in the larger Marvel universe. Although Hulk's brute strength is often associated with earthbound battles, his involvement in the cosmic events proves that his abilities extend far beyond just the physical. Hulk's power becomes a pivotal force when facing threats of universal proportions, highlighting his importance as a central figure in the Marvel Universe. His strength is not just meant for Earth, it is a force that can impact the cosmos itself. Fact 79. One of the most interesting aspects of Hulk's character is his constant battle to control his transformation. In The Incredible Hulk number 315, Bruce Banner is shown struggling to keep the Hulk persona at bay, hoping that with enough willpower, he can avoid the destructive rampages. However, no matter how hard he tries, Banner is never able to fully suppress the Hulk. This ongoing battle between the two identities, Bruce's intellect and Hulk's raw emotions, adds depth to the character, showing that control is not always achievable and that sometimes embracing one's true nature is the key to understanding one's power. Fact 80. In many of his stories, Hulk is depicted as a protector of those who cannot defend themselves. In The Incredible Hulk, number 102, Hulk is shown saving a group of innocent civilians from danger, showcasing his heroic side. Despite his tendency to lash out in rage, Hulk is often motivated by a desire to protect the helpless and defend the weak. This aspect of his character shows that at his core, Hulk is not a villain, but a hero struggling to control the immense power that lies within him. His motivations, though chaotic, are ultimately driven by a sense of justice. Fact 81. Hulk's resilience is one of his defining characteristics. He is not only a symbol of physical power, but also an embodiment of mental endurance. In The Incredible Hulk, number 109, Hulk finds himself in situations that push him to his limits, facing foes far stronger than himself. Despite this, he always manages to overcome the odds. His ability to endure and keep fighting, even when defeat seems inevitable, showcases his unbreakable will. This resilience extends beyond battle. It's seen in Hulk's ability to recover from emotional and psychological wounds, as he constantly faces the duality of his own nature. Fact 82. Hulk's iconic strength is often depicted as limitless, yet in certain stories, his power is tested in unique ways. In Infinity War, Thanos effortlessly defeats the Hulk, showing that even someone as powerful as Hulk has vulnerabilities. This defeat was a turning point for the character, as it humbled him and allowed for growth. The story emphasized that Hulk's power is not the ultimate answer to every problem. It also reinforced the idea that the greatest strength lies not just in brute force, but in resilience, strategy, and the ability to learn from failure. This was a crucial evolution in Hulk's arc. Fact 83. Hulk's transformation has been explored in various storylines, but one of the most significant is the Hulk, the End. Set in a post apocalyptic future, Hulk is the last living being on Earth, wandering a desolate landscape after all life has been wiped out. This version of Hulk is deeply introspective, grappling with the weight of his solitude and the emotional toll of outliving everyone he's ever known. This storyline brings a sense of closure to Hulk's character as he faces the idea that even the most powerful beings are vulnerable to the passage of time and the inevitability of change. Fact 84. Hulk's complex relationship with the Avengers is a recurring theme in his stories. Initially seen as a liability, Hulk eventually becomes a crucial member of the team. In Avengers number 2, his initial defection from the team is a reminder of how his uncontrollable nature leads to moments of conflict. However, as the Avengers face increasingly powerful threats, Hulk's strength proves invaluable. His ability to act decisively, even when others hesitate, becomes a vital asset in battles where speed and power are needed most. Despite his occasional outbursts, Hulk's loyalty to the team shows that, when needed, he is a dependable ally. Fact 85. Hulk's fight against his own rage is not just a battle against others, but a fight within himself. In Hulk Subter 377, Bruce Banner strives to control the Hulk persona, wishing to find peace with both sides of his identity. This arc reflects a deeper philosophical and emotional journey, one that explores the idea of self-acceptance. Banner wants to live a life free of violence and chaos, but the Hulk represents the darker, uncontrollable side of his emotions. This conflict between peace and anger is a powerful metaphor for many people's struggles with their own inner demons and the need for balance. Fact 86. One of Hulk's greatest strengths is his ability to inspire others, despite his outward appearance and violent tendencies. In the Planet Hulk storyline, he becomes a leader among the oppressed people of Sakaar, rising from a gladiator to a king. This transformation from a savage fighter to a strategic leader shows that Hulk's power is not just physical, but also psychological. His ability to inspire loyalty and change in others is a testament to his strength beyond mere destruction. Hulk's leadership in this arc proves that strength, when tempered by wisdom and compassion, can be a force for good. Fact 87. Hulk's character has always been a representation of raw emotion and the consequences of unrestrained feelings. In The Incredible Hulk, number 181, where he first faces Wolverine, Hulk's rage is so intense that it drives him into uncontrollable combat. This conflict is not just physical, It's a representation of how Hulk's rage often leads to destruction. Over time, however, Hulk learns that his emotions, while powerful, must be channeled if he is to avoid becoming a force of chaos. The story of Hulk's journey toward controlling his rage is a universal one, illustrating the importance of emotional regulation in achieving inner peace. Fact 88. Throughout his many battles, Hulk has often been depicted as someone who stands up against overwhelming odds. In The Incredible Hulk, Rem 102, Hulk fights against the powerful and seemingly invincible forces of the military, the UFOs, and even his own inner demons. Despite being pushed to the brink, Hulk's tenacity and willpower allow him to fight back and win. This storyline, like many others, emphasizes the idea that Hulk's true power lies not just in his strength, but in his determination to continue fighting, no matter the obstacles in his way. It is a message of persistence and resilience. Fact 89. Hulk's healing factor has been an essential part of his character, making him nearly invincible. In The Incredible Hulk, 1981, where he faces off against the Wendigo and other foes, Hulk's rapid healing allows him to recover from wounds that would normally be fatal. His ability to regenerate from almost any injury is a key aspect of his survival, making him one of the most durable characters in the Marvel Universe. This regenerative power also serves as a metaphor for emotional healing. Hulk's physical ability to heal reflects his potential for emotional recovery, even after the most difficult trials. Fact 90. Hulk's relationship with his human counterpart, Bruce Banner, is an ongoing struggle for control. While Banner is often depicted as a scientist trying to rid himself of the Hulk persona, there are times when he learns to accept that the Hulk is an integral part of him. In The Incredible Hulk, 371, Banner comes to terms with the fact that he cannot simply eliminate the Hulk. Instead, he learns to work alongside him, realizing that the Hulk's power, though uncontrollable, can be used for good. This moment of acceptance marks a pivotal turning point for both Banner and Hulk, highlighting the theme of unity and self-acceptance. Fact 91. Hulk's physical appearance has been a point of discussion throughout his history. Originally depicted as a gray-skinned giant, the Hulk's color was changed to green due to printing issues in the early comics. This shift not only became iconic, but also symbolized the chaotic nature of the Hulk's personality. The vibrant green hue reflects the raw, uncontrollable force of the Hulk's rage, contrasting with the more human side of Bruce Banner, whose emotional complexity is often at odds with his alter ego. This contrast between color and personality is a key visual cue in understanding the character's inner conflict. Fact 92. Hulk's unpredictability is both his greatest asset and his biggest weakness. In Avengers, Age of Ultron, his unpredictable rampages cause destruction and chaos, but they also serve as a reminder of his immense potential. When Hulk loses control, the consequences are often severe, but when he channels his power, he becomes a hero of unparalleled strength. His volatility makes him a dangerous ally, but it also makes him a powerful force for good when directed toward the right cause. This duality of Hulk's character shows the fine line between destructive force and heroic action, and it's this uncertainty that makes him so compelling. Fact 93. One of the most heart-wrenching elements of Hulk's story is his constant battle to find peace within himself. In The Incredible Hulk, 9, Hulk begins to question his purpose and whether he is truly a hero or a monster. This story arc focuses on the psychological toll that being the Hulk has on Bruce Banner. The fear of causing harm to others and the struggle to control his rage leave Hulk in a constant state of turmoil. This theme of self doubt and the search for inner peace is something many readers can relate to, making Hulk's emotional journey both universal and deeply personal. Fact 94: Hulk's relationship with his enemies is complex, as many of them are also reflections of his inner struggles. One of his most memorable and tragic adversaries is the Leader, a brilliant but twisted villain who often challenges Hulk's intellect and emotions. In many ways, the Leader represents the opposite of Hulk: intellect and manipulation versus raw strength and impulse. Their battles are not only physical, but also intellectual, as the Leader often attempts to outsmart the Hulk, knowing that Hulk's greatest weakness lies in his emotions and lack of control. This dynamic highlights Hulk's ongoing internal conflict between intellect and raw power. Fact 95: The Hulk's influence extends beyond comics, as he has become a cultural icon. From TV shows and cartoons to blockbuster movies, Hulk's story resonates with people of all ages. His image as a massive green powerhouse, symbolizing anger and strength, has made him one of Marvel's most recognizable characters. However, what truly sets the Hulk apart from other superheroes is his vulnerability. Despite his overwhelming power, he is constantly struggling with the emotional and psychological toll of his transformation. This emotional depth has allowed the Hulk to transcend his comic origins, making him a symbol of strength, resilience, and inner conflict across media. Fact 96: Hulk's immense power is often the focal point of his character, but it is his vulnerability that makes him truly compelling. Throughout his history, Hulk has faced the challenge of living with his own anger. His internal struggle between Bruce Banner and the Hulk is not just about controlling his strength, it's about understanding his emotions and learning to coexist with them. In The Incredible Hulk, Dresdich 300, Hulk is shown in a more reflective light, where his self awareness grows and he begins to realize that his true enemy is not just the external forces around him, but the rage within himself. This internal battle defines much of his journey. Fact 97: Hulk's connection to the environment has been explored in many storylines. Often depicted as a solitary figure, Hulk seeks out isolated locations, such as mountains or forests, when he feels overwhelmed. This connection to nature represents his desire for peace and his need to escape the chaos of society. In The Incredible Hulk, just 274, Hulk is shown in a tranquil moment in the wilderness, where he feels at ease, free from the pressures of the world. This aspect of Hulk's character underscores the idea that despite his monstrous appearance, he is not inherently destructive. He simply seeks a place where he can be at peace with himself. Fact 98: Hulk's sense of justice is one of the most prominent traits that defines him as a hero. While he is often seen as a wild, uncontrollable force, Hulk's actions are frequently motivated by a desire to protect the innocent. In The Incredible Hulk, number 275, Hulk defends a group of people from a dangerous foe, risking his life to protect them. This selflessness is at the core of Hulk's character, as he consistently fights for what is right, even if his methods are often unorthodox. His sense of justice, driven by his need to make the world a safer place, sets him apart as a hero. Fact 99: Despite being one of Marvel's most powerful characters, Hulk's greatest enemy has often been his own mind. The Hulk persona is an external manifestation of Bruce Banner's repressed emotions, particularly his anger and fear. In many storylines, the Hulk's mind and actions are driven by raw emotion, with no filter for morality or reasoning. In Hulk number 414, the character's internal struggle is explored as Bruce Banner faces the overwhelming power of the Hulk's rage. This psychological aspect of Hulk's story reveals that true strength comes not just from physical power, but from the ability to control one's emotions and impulses. Fact 100: Hulk's ongoing struggle with his identity has made him one of the most relatable characters in the Marvel Universe. At his core, Hulk is a character trying to reconcile the duality of his existence: the intelligent, compassionate Bruce Banner and the uncontrollable, primal Hulk. This struggle is explored in The Incredible Hulk, number 362, where Banner is forced to confront the fear of losing himself to the Hulk. Throughout his journey, Hulk seeks not only to control his transformations, but also to understand what it means to truly be himself. This emotional complexity is what has made Hulk a timeless character, resonating with fans for decades. Fact 101: Hulk's physical transformation is one of the most iconic elements of his character, but it also reflects deeper psychological and emotional changes. Each time Bruce Banner turns into the Hulk, his body grows in size, strength, and power. However, this transformation is not just about a physical shift, it's a manifestation of his unchecked rage. In stories like The Incredible Hulk, the number 340, Hulk's transformation is depicted as the embodiment of his inner turmoil. The Hulk represents a primal force that Bruce cannot fully control, a metaphor for the uncontrollable emotions that everyone struggles with at some point in their lives. Fact 102: one of the central themes of Hulk's story is the exploration of anger as both a source of strength and a destructive force. In The Incredible Hulk, number 60, Hulk's uncontrollable rage leads to destruction and chaos, showing the consequences of losing control. Yet, in The Incredible Hulk, number 449, Hulk learns to harness his anger, using it as a tool to fight for justice. This duality, anger as a destructive force and as a motivator for good, is central to Hulk's character. It teaches the important lesson that emotions, while powerful, must be managed in order to avoid causing harm to oneself or others. Fact 103: throughout his history, Hulk has often been depicted as a tragic figure, torn between his human side and the monster within. This internal conflict is explored in The Incredible Hulk number 286, where Bruce Banner struggles to understand and control his transformations. Banner's fear of becoming the Hulk is not just about the physical changes, but about the loss of control over his emotions and actions. This fear is something that many people can relate to: the struggle between our desires, our actions, and the consequences of losing control. Hulk's journey is about finding balance between these forces. Mech 104. The Hulk's evolution over the years has also been marked by his interactions with other Marvel heroes. Initially portrayed as a misunderstood and solitary figure, Hulk's role within the superhero community has shifted. In Avengers number 1, Hulk was seen as a dangerous and uncontrollable member of the team. However, as the Avengers faced larger threats, Hulk's immense power became indispensable. His relationships with other heroes, such as Captain America and Iron Man, evolved over time, and he eventually became an integral part of the team. This transformation from an outsider to a key member of the Avengers highlights Hulk's growth as a character. Fact 105: Hulk's inner turmoil is not limited to his relationship with Bruce Banner. In The Incredible Hulk, number 232, Hulk faces the mental and emotional consequences of his actions. In this story, Hulk is confronted with the realization that his anger and actions have hurt those he loves. This moment of self awareness is crucial to Hulk's development, as it represents a turning point in his character arc. It shows that Hulk is not just a force of destruction, but a character who is capable of reflecting on his actions and seeking redemption. This adds a layer of depth to his character, making him more relatable and human. Fact 106: Hulk's power is often depicted as limitless, but in World War Hulk, he faces challenges that push him to the brink. After being exiled to the planet Sakaar, Hulk returns to Earth with one goal: revenge. This storyline is significant because it shows that despite his overwhelming strength, Hulk is not invincible. His struggle against the forces that exile him and his eventual quest for vengeance are emotionally charged, highlighting his vulnerability and the impact of betrayal. The World War Hulk arc explores the consequences of pushing Hulk too far and the emotional toll of loss and revenge. Fact 107: Hulk's connection to his enemies is one of the most significant aspects of his story. While he has fought many foes, some of the most powerful and enduring relationships are with characters who challenge his strength and his morality. In The Incredible Hulk, the Mirror 377, Hulk faces off against the Leader, a villain whose intellect often rivals Hulk's brute strength. These encounters serve to highlight the difference between intelligence and raw power, and the need for balance between the two. Hulk's struggle against these formidable enemies is not just about physical strength, it's about the moral and emotional challenges that come with being the Hulk. Fact 108: Hulk's ability to adapt to different environments is one of the key aspects of his character. In Planet Hulk, Hulk is exiled to a distant planet where he is forced to fight in gladiatorial arenas. This storyline showcases his resilience as Hulk learns to survive and eventually lead a rebellion. His adaptability to different situations, whether in space or on Earth, highlights his resourcefulness and his unyielding will to survive. This theme of survival against all odds is central to Hulk's character. No matter where he is or what he faces, Hulk will always find a way to fight for what he believes in. So fact 109: Despite his immense power, Hulk is often portrayed as a reluctant hero. In many storylines, such as The Incredible Hulk number 324, Hulk is forced to fight against his will, struggling with his instincts and the consequences of his actions. This reluctance to fight, combined with his uncontrollable nature, creates a deep internal conflict. Hulk does not seek out battles or destruction. He only fights when he feels there is no other choice. This reluctance adds to his tragic nature, as it shows that despite his power, Hulk's true desire is to be left in peace, away from the chaos and violence that follow him. Fact 110: Hulk's character has evolved over time, with different versions of the Hulk emerging to explore different aspects of his persona. In The Incredible Hulk, the next 360, Bruce Banner undergoes a psychological transformation that merges his intellect with the Hulk persona, creating the Professor Hulk version. This new iteration of Hulk allows Banner to remain in control while retaining Hulk's physical strength. This version represents a more balanced approach to Hulk's dual nature, highlighting the potential for growth and self-mastery. Professor Hulk is a symbol of self acceptance and the possibility of reconciling different aspects of one's identity to achieve harmony. Fact 111. One of the key emotional aspects of Hulk's character is his connection to the idea of isolation. Throughout many of his stories, Hulk is depicted as an outsider, someone who is feared and misunderstood by society. In The Incredible Hulk, number 128, Bruce Banner is forced to flee from the world he once knew because he can no longer control the Hulk. This theme of isolation is often explored in Hulk's adventures as he grapples with his need for human connection, but also his fear of hurting others. This inner struggle is something that makes Hulk a relatable and deeply human character. Fact 112. Hulk's relationships with other heroes have often been complex, shaped by both his immense power and his uncontrollable nature. In Avengers Endgame, the character is portrayed as Smart Hulk, where Bruce Banner finally achieves a balance between his intellect and the Hulk persona. This version of Hulk is one of the most transformative, showing that his journey is not just about battling external foes, but about finding peace within himself. The Smart Hulk persona symbolizes Bruce's acceptance of both sides of his identity, allowing him to function as a more well rounded member of the Avengers. Fact 113. Despite his incredible strength, Hulk is not immune to suffering. In The Incredible Hulk, number 340, he faces the emotional toll of his actions, as his uncontrollable nature often leads to destruction. This issue explores the consequences of his rage, where Hulk is forced to confront the aftermath of his battles. Hulk's internal conflict, his desire to protect others, versus his inability to control his destructive side, is a central theme in his stories. This psychological depth allows Hulk to resonate with fans on a personal level, as his struggles with emotional control mirror many real life challenges of managing one's inner turmoil. Fact 114. Hulk's interactions with his greatest adversaries, such as the Abomination and the Leader, have often served as a mirror to his own struggles. The Abomination, a character who shares similar powers to Hulk, represents the darker side of Hulk's rage, someone who uses their power for destruction without a sense of morality. In contrast, the Leader is a brilliant mind who seeks to control the Hulk, often exploiting his emotions for his own gain. These villains serve as foils to Hulk, pushing him to confront his inner darkness and the fear that his rage may eventually consume him. Fact 115. Hulk's impact on the world around him extends beyond his physical battles. In The Incredible Hulk, Sir 285, Hulk is forced to face the consequences of his actions when he accidentally harms innocent people during one of his rampages. This issue focuses on Hulk's guilt and regret, showing that despite his immense power, he is not immune to the emotional fallout of his actions. It's a poignant exploration of accountability, as Hulk grapples with the duality of being a hero and a destructive force. This internal struggle highlights that even the most powerful beings must face the consequences of their decisions. Fact 116. In Planet Hulk, Hulk is sent away to another world, where he is forced to fight for survival in gladiatorial arenas. This storyline is significant because it shows a different side of Hulk, one that is capable of leadership and compassion. As he rises to become the leader of a rebellion, Hulk is shown not just as a brute force, but as a hero who fights for justice. His time on Sakaar represents a journey of self-discovery, where he learns that his power can be used for something greater than destruction. It's a turning point in his character arc, symbolizing personal growth. Fact 117: Hulk's connection to nature is often explored in stories where he seeks refuge in the wilderness. In The Incredible Hulk, number 272, Hulk is depicted in a serene moment, surrounded by nature, away from the chaos of society. This return to nature reflects Hulk's desire for peace and solitude, as he often finds solace in quiet, untamed places. His connection to the natural world is a powerful aspect of his character, as it shows that despite his destructive tendencies, Hulk is still a part of the world he fights to protect. This theme of finding peace in nature has become a recurring motif in his storylines. Fact 118: Hulk's ability to heal from nearly any injury is one of his most remarkable traits. In The Incredible Hulk, number 180, Hulk survives wounds that would normally be fatal to anyone else, showcasing his regenerative powers. This healing factor is not just a physical ability, it also serves as a metaphor for emotional healing. Throughout his story, Hulk is repeatedly hurt by his actions, the actions of others, and his internal struggles. Yet, like his body, his spirit continues to heal, rising again each time. This regenerative ability reinforces the idea that true strength is not just in physical power, but in the resilience of the heart. Fact 119: Hulk's ongoing battle with his alter ego, Bruce Banner, is a central theme in many of his storylines. In The Incredible Hulk, number 333, Bruce struggles with the fact that he cannot rid himself of the Hulk persona. This psychological battle between Banner and Hulk is one of the most compelling aspects of the character. It's a constant tension between Banner's desire to live a normal life and the Hulk's uncontrollable nature. This internal conflict highlights the complexity of Hulk as a character, as he grapples with accepting both sides of himself, understanding that they are inextricably linked. Fact 120: Hulk's role as a protector is often emphasized in his storylines. Despite his uncontrollable rage, Hulk is frequently shown fighting to protect those who cannot defend themselves. In The Incredible Hulk, number 275, Hulk defends a group of innocent civilians from a dangerous foe, showcasing his more heroic side. This aspect of Hulk's character adds depth to his persona, as it demonstrates that at his core, he is motivated by a desire to protect others, even if his methods are sometimes unorthodox. Hulk's actions are driven by a sense of justice, making him more than just a brute force. Fact 121: Hulk's anger has often been depicted as the driving force behind his transformations, but in Hulk, number 337, a more introspective version of the character is explored. In this issue, Hulk is forced to confront not just his rage, but the emotional scars left by his childhood and the trauma of being rejected by society. This exploration into Hulk's emotional state adds depth to his character, showing that his anger is not just a primal response, but a reaction to years of pain and isolation. It's a reminder that Hulk is more than just his strength. He is a reflection of the emotional toll of feeling alone and misunderstood. Fact 122: Despite being one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel Universe, Hulk's vulnerability is often highlighted through his interactions with other characters. In The Incredible Hulk, 35, Hulk's struggle to find his place in the world is evident as he tries to fit in with other superheroes. His inability to fully connect with others, coupled with the fear that his rage will once again cause destruction, creates a sense of isolation. This emotional vulnerability is a key part of Hulk's character, showing that even the strongest heroes are capable of feeling insecure and out of place in the world. Fact 123: Hulk's relationships with the concept of power is explored in Planet Hulk, where he is exiled to the planet Sakaar. On Sakaar, Hulk is forced to fight in gladiatorial arenas, but his journey goes beyond just physical strength. As he rises to power, he learns that leadership requires more than just brute force. In his time as a king, Hulk learns to channel his anger into a force for good, fighting not just for survival, but for justice. His growth in this storyline shows that true power is not about dominance, but about the ability to protect and lead others. Fact 124: Hulk's healing factor is a crucial part of his endurance. In The Incredible Hulk, number 141, Hulk demonstrates his regenerative ability by recovering from severe injuries. His healing factor is so strong that he can regenerate from nearly any injury, making him one of the most invulnerable characters in the Marvel Universe. This power to heal rapidly not only makes him a nearly unstoppable force in battle, but it also symbolizes the resilience of the human spirit. Hulk's ability to recover from even the most devastating blows reflects the idea that no matter how hard we fall, we can always rise again. Fact 125: In The Incredible Hulk, Spare 404, Hulk faces the consequences of his actions when he accidentally harms someone he cares about. This issue delves deep into Hulk's guilt as he struggles with the idea that his uncontrollable rage might hurt innocent people. The story examines the emotional toll that being the Hulk has on Bruce Banner, as he is forced to confront the damage his alter ego causes. This moment of self reflection adds depth to Hulk's character, highlighting the internal struggle that drives much of his journey. It shows that Hulk's greatest battle is not just against others, but against himself. Fact 126: Hulk's sense of justice often drives him to fight against powerful foes, but his greatest adversary is often his own internal conflict. In The Incredible Hulk, year 467, Hulk is confronted with the psychological consequences of his actions. He is forced to face the fact that despite his strength, he is not always in control of his actions. This issue explores the darker side of Hulk's character, revealing the toll that his transformations take on his mental and emotional state. It's a poignant reminder that even the strongest individuals struggle with their own demons and the consequences of their actions. Fact 127: One of Hulk's most unique qualities is his relationship with the concept of family. In The Incredible Hulk, number 340, Hulk is confronted with the idea of what it means to be a protector, especially when it comes to those he loves. Hulk's deep connection to his cousin, She-Hulk, highlights the theme of family as a source of strength and support. While Hulk's rage often isolates him, his family relationships remind him that he is not alone. These connections are essential to Hulk's growth, as they offer him a sense of belonging and a reminder that love and loyalty can help overcome even the darkest challenges. Fact 128: Hulk's role in the Marvel Universe often places him in situations where he must fight not just for himself, but for the greater good. In Avengers: Infinity War, Hulk plays a crucial role in the battle against Thanos, even though he is initially defeated. This moment of vulnerability shows that even the most powerful heroes have their limits, but it also sets the stage for Hulk's eventual return and growth. The story arc emphasizes the idea that true heroism is not just about strength, it's about the ability to rise again after defeat and continue fighting for what is right. Fact 129: Hulk's emotional complexity is one of the defining aspects of his character. In The Incredible Hulk 441, Hulk is forced to confront his own feelings of guilt and fear. As he battles external enemies, he also faces the internal conflict of being afraid of the damage he might cause. This issue highlights Hulk's vulnerability, showing that even the strongest characters are not immune to the emotional toll of their actions. Hulk's internal struggle is a central theme in his story, as he constantly grapples with the fear that his anger will hurt those he loves or cause irreparable harm to the world. Fact 730: Hulk's greatest battle is often not against his enemies, but against himself. In The Incredible Hulk, New York 474, Bruce Banner faces the consequences of his dual nature. The Hulk persona represents everything that Bruce cannot control: his anger, his rage, and his fear. Throughout his journey, Bruce tries to find a way to suppress or eliminate the Hulk, but he learns that true peace comes from acceptance. This realization marks a pivotal moment in Hulk's story as he begins to understand that the Hulk is not a curse, but a part of who he is. This theme of self acceptance is central to his character. Fact 131: one of the most significant elements of Hulk's story is his journey toward self acceptance. In The Incredible Hulk, Year 377, Bruce Banner comes to terms with the fact that the Hulk is an integral part of his existence. This issue marks a pivotal moment where Bruce realizes that the Hulk isn't just a curse or a burden, but an aspect of himself that he must learn to live with. This realization is a profound turning point, as it shows that true strength comes from embracing one's flaws and learning to coexist with the parts of ourselves we often fear or reject. Fact 132: despite being known for his brute strength, Hulk has often been portrayed as a hero who must deal with the consequences of his actions. In Avengers Number 2, his initial confrontation with the Avengers is due to his uncontrollable nature, which leads to the team seeing him as a threat. Over time, however, Hulk's character evolves and he becomes an integral member of the Avengers. This transformation shows that while Hulk's rage is a defining part of him, it is also a source of conflict. Through his journey, Hulk learns that being a hero requires more than just strength. It requires responsibility. Fact 133: the Hulk's relationship with anger is one of the most complex aspects of his character. In The Incredible Hulk, number 441, Bruce Banner confronts the idea that his rage is not just a response to external threats, but a manifestation of his inner struggles and unresolved trauma. This issue delves deeply into the psychological aspects of Hulk's transformation, highlighting how anger can be both a destructive force and a means of survival. Hulk's constant battle is not just about controlling his anger, but understanding it, which adds emotional depth to his story and makes him one of the most complex characters in comics. Fact 134: in many of his stories, Hulk's role as a protector of the weak has been highlighted. In The Incredible Hulk, number 136, Hulk saves a group of civilians from a powerful villain, showcasing his more heroic side. This action is a reminder that despite his destructive tendencies, Hulk is motivated by a sense of justice and a desire to protect others. He may struggle with his own emotions and uncontrollable rage, but his actions often reveal a character who wants to do good and defend those who cannot defend themselves, even if his methods are sometimes unorthodox. Fact 135: Hulk's journey of self discovery is explored in depth in Hulk. The End, a storyline that takes place in a post apocalyptic world where Hulk is the last survivor on Earth. This version of the Hulk is deeply introspective, grappling with the isolation and loneliness that come with being the last living being. In this storyline, Hulk is forced to confront not only his rage, but the emotional consequences of outliving everyone he has ever known. Hulk. The end is one of the most poignant depictions of Hulk, as it shows a more vulnerable and reflective side of the character, emphasizing themes of loss, survival, and self understanding. Fact 136: Hulk's relationship with his cousin, She Hulk, Jennifer Walters, provides an interesting contrast to his own emotional struggles. Unlike Bruce, Jennifer is able to maintain her intelligence and sense of self when she transforms into She Hulk, which makes their relationship unique. In The Incredible Hulk, just as in 141, their interactions reveal how they both cope with their transformations in different ways. While Bruce often sees the Hulk as a curse, Jennifer embraces her She Hulk persona, finding strength in both her intellect and her powers. This dynamic shows that while their experiences are similar, their approaches to their abilities differ, offering a rich perspective on the theme of self acceptance. Fact 137: Throughout his many battles, Hulk has had to face villains that push him to his physical and emotional limits. In The Incredible Hulk, the number 377, he faces off against the leader, who manipulates Hulk's emotions and uses them against him. The leader's intellect is often a foil to Hulk's raw strength, and their battles represent the ongoing struggle between emotion and reason. While Hulk's rage makes him a formidable opponent, it is his ability to overcome the psychological manipulation of his enemies that ultimately makes him victorious. This story highlights the importance of mental resilience, showing that true strength lies not just in physical power, but in the ability to rise above manipulation. Fact 138: In World War Hulk, Hulk returns to Earth seeking vengeance against those who exiled him to Sakaar. This storyline explores the depths of Hulk's anger and the emotional toll of betrayal. However, it also reveals a more nuanced side to the Hulk's character. As he fights against the Illuminati and other heroes, he is not just seeking revenge, he is also looking for a sense of closure and understanding. The arc delves into the complexity of Hulk's emotional landscape, showing that his rage is not just mindless destruction, it is a response to years of trauma, isolation, and loss. Fact 139: Hulk's ability to adapt to any situation is one of his greatest strengths. On The Incredible Hulk, just 253, Hulk is shown to be able to survive in any environment, whether it's the depths of space or the heart of the jungle. This adaptability speaks to the raw power of the Hulk persona. No matter where he is or what challenge he faces, Hulk always finds a way to survive and overcome. This ability to adapt also reflects the resilience of the human spirit. When faced with adversity, we can always find a way to push forward, just as the Hulk does. Fact 140: Hulk's journey from an isolated, misunderstood monster to a hero who works with the Avengers is one of the most compelling aspects of his character. In Avengers number 1, Hulk is initially seen as a danger to the team due to his uncontrollable nature. However, as the Avengers face larger threats, Hulk's power becomes indispensable. His eventual acceptance into the team reflects his growth as a character, as he learns to channel his anger and use it for a greater purpose. This transformation underscores one of Hulk's key themes, that even the most difficult challenges can lead to personal growth and change. Fact 141: Hulk's struggle with identity is at the core of his character. In many of his stories, he faces the constant question of who he really is, Bruce Banner or the Hulk. In The Incredible Hulk, 86, Bruce Banner is shown desperately trying to rid himself of the Hulk persona, believing that if he can control it, he can return to a normal life. However, as the story progresses, Bruce realizes that the Hulk is an inseparable part of him. This struggle between the two identities, intellect and raw emotion, forms the essence of Hulk's complexity, making him a deeply conflicted and tragic hero. Fact 142: Hulk's role in the Marvel Universe is not just about his physical strength, but also about his ability to challenge other characters in terms of morality. In Hulk 332, Hulk is put in a situation where he must decide whether to protect the innocent or give in to his rage and destroy everything in his path. This moral dilemma is something that defines Hulk's journey, as he is forced to reconcile his destructive instincts with the need to do what's right. This theme of balancing power and responsibility has become one of Hulk's defining qualities and resonates with many readers. Fact 143: Hulk's vulnerability is often overlooked, but it is one of his most defining characteristics. In The Incredible Hulk, number 315, Hulk is forced to confront the emotional scars of his past and the people he has hurt. This issue delves into Hulk's feelings of guilt and regret, showing that despite his overwhelming strength, he is not immune to emotional pain. This vulnerability makes Hulk a relatable character, as it shows that even the strongest individuals are not impervious to the emotional toll of their actions. Hulk's journey is as much about emotional healing as it is about physical battles. Fact 144: Hulk's transformation has been a source of both power and pain. In The Incredible Hulk, number 121, Bruce Banner's transformation into the Hulk is depicted as a moment of agony and loss of control. This moment highlights the tragic side of Hulk's character, the fact that every transformation represents not just physical change, but also emotional turmoil. Hulk's rage is often a manifestation of the pain and fear that Bruce carries with him. This transformation, though it makes him powerful, also makes him a prisoner of his own emotions, unable to escape the consequences of his actions. Fact 145: Hulk's relationship with the Avengers has been complicated, marked by both camaraderie and conflict. In Avengers number 2, Hulk leaves the team after an altercation, demonstrating his inability to fit in with the group. This event sets the stage for his struggles with being a part of something larger than himself. Over time, however, Hulk becomes a vital member of the Avengers, showing that even the most unpredictable and volatile characters can find a place where they belong. This arc reflects the broader theme of finding one's purpose and how even those who seem like outsiders can contribute to something greater. Fact 146: Hulk's role in Planet Hulk marked a significant evolution in his character. When he is exiled from Earth, Hulk is forced to adapt to life on the planet Sakaar, where he becomes a gladiator. In this alien world, Hulk learns to survive and eventually leads a rebellion. His growth during this period is remarkable as he transitions from a mindless force of destruction to a wise and capable leader. This arc highlights Hulk's ability to adapt and grow, showing that even in the harshest of environments, he can find a way to not just survive, but thrive and fight for justice. Fact 147: The idea of family is a recurring theme in Hulk's story, especially when it comes to his relationship with his cousin, She-Hulk. In The Incredible Hulk, number 131, their interactions highlight the contrasting ways in which they deal with their shared experiences of being transformed by gamma radiation. While Bruce Banner struggles with his anger and the consequences of his transformations, Jennifer Walters, She Hulk, maintains her sense of self and intellect when she becomes She Hulk. This dynamic between the two characters adds a layer of depth to Hulk's character, showing that even in their similarities, there are different ways to handle power and identity. Fact 148: Hulk's legacy is one of resilience and survival. In The Incredible Hulk, number 426, Hulk is put through a series of trials that test his physical and emotional limits. Despite facing overwhelming odds, Hulk always finds a way to continue fighting, showcasing his indomitable will to survive. His ability to persevere, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges, makes him a symbol of resilience. This theme of survival is not just about physical endurance, but also emotional strength, as Hulk continues to overcome his inner battles and find ways to keep moving forward, no matter how difficult the journey. Fact 149: Despite his fearsome reputation, Hulk has shown moments of deep empathy and compassion. In The Incredible Hulk, number 180, Hulk is shown protecting innocent people from danger, displaying a side of him that is often overshadowed by his destructive nature. These moments of heroism are a reminder that Hulk is not just a monster, but a character driven by a desire to do good. His compassion, often hidden beneath his rage, shows that even the most powerful beings have the capacity for kindness and selflessness. This side of Hulk's personality adds complexity to his character and makes him more relatable to readers. Fact 150: Hulk's power continues to grow with each passing storyline, but his true strength lies in his ability to confront his own emotions. In Hulk number 476, Bruce Banner finally comes to terms with his fear of the Hulk persona, realizing that his anger is not something to be feared, but something to understand. This moment of self acceptance is one of the most powerful in Hulk's journey, as it marks a turning point in his ability to control his emotions. Hulk's true power is not just in his physical might, but in his ability to acknowledge and manage the emotions that define him. As we reach the end of this exploration through the world of the Hulk, we reflect on the complexity of his character. From his immense power to his internal struggles, Hulk's journey teaches us that true strength lies not only in physical might, but in emotional resilience and self acceptance. His battles are not just against external enemies, but against the parts of himself he must learn to embrace. As you drift off to sleep, may you carry with you the lessons of Hulk's perseverance, that even in our toughest moments, we have the power to rise again. Sleep well, and may your dreams be filled with peace, strength, and growth.